Thanks a lot, Mr. Puri. Thanks for joining us and talking to us. Before I come to subject-specific issues, I would like to ask, are you satisfied with the pace at which the work are being done in order to pull out the real estate sector from the gloom?
Well, first of all, it is not for me to express satisfaction on how the real estate sector is functioning. I have to make an assessment of what the government has done in order to rectify the situation. I am more than satisfied. The truth is that the real estate sector is in a difficult situation, but there are signs of recovery. I mean, the prices of cement and steel, which when they started declining, you knew that there was a problem there. But there are other problems like oversupply, problems relating to there not being a regulator. So I think the government has done enormous amount of work. We brought in a regulator for the first time in 70 years. Earlier, the real estate sector was characterized by a culture of impunity. People were collecting money. It was entirely in the informal sector. There were no transactions recorded in the sector. Everything was informal. Now we've been able to correct that. Obviously, the people who were benefiting from that culture of impunity and who had a vested interest in the malpractices which were characterized were upset. They challenged RERA by saying it's not doesn't go far enough, it's too little, and so on. We mounted that challenge, and now you're seeing the recovery. Now the narrative in this sector is largely set, at least in Delhi, by 3 large projects in the National Capital Region. And with the court's direction, we are beginning to solve that. There are many issues there. Yeah. The issues are, I mean, many of these properties are Benami properties, but I think after demonetization, after GST, after the introduction of RERA, you are going to see now for the first time in the history of independent India, a real estate, which is a very important sector, contributes a large percentage to the GDP and which accounts the second largest in terms of employment. You will see a certain organized predictability in that. And I think the recovery is already visible. Insofar as affordable housing is concerned, that's a sector which is doing very well. The government's own affordable housing scheme is doing extremely well. Out of a total of 112 lakhs of homes that we have to build and sanction, we've already sanctioned 93 lakhs. Something in excess of 55 lakhs have been grounded. 28 lakhs have already been completed and handed over. So the news in the sector is good. But insofar, it's not a question of my expressing satisfaction. As a minister, I can say no government in India or anywhere else has done so much to revive the real estate sector as we have. But then, you know, the real estate sector actors also have to step up. They also have to show a sense of responsibility. And I think working together, RERA will have an effect. Some fly-by-night operators are going to be in pain, but by and large, the sector is recovering. I was in Mumbai recently at an event organized by Outlook, and some additional suggestions have come. We have an open mind in terms of looking at suggestions. I've already given you a listing of what we have done for the sector. But if there are some other ideas, useful ideas which can be considered and implemented, we're happy to do that.
And sir, recently the government made 25,000 crores as an alternative investment fund. Do you think that it's enough? And would you say that it could...
The question itself, I'm a little surprised about. We are not a nanny state. If private builders don't deliver on their promises and projects are left undone, what can the government do? Government is not going to give money for the private builder to complete the project. We have devised, as I've given you a long list of measures that we've done. One of the latest measures we've done is to set up what is called a stress fund. That's what is enough? Is 10,000 crores enough or 25,000 crores? It's a question of what the government can afford. We are using taxpayers' money to try and reach out to a section of people, builders and promoters who've been irresponsible. So, I mean, I think 25,000 crores is more than enough for the moment. We cannot bail out people who have indulged in malpractices, people who've taken innocent home buyers' money and diverted it into land banks.
And now, so you are in a second term and yet the housing crisis is not yet resolved. And many are criticizing that disruptions introduced by your government like demonetization and GST.
First of all, I'm surprised at your question. No, real estate crisis is produced by the people who are in the real estate sector. We are trying to solve it out, okay? Demonetization is necessary to end the culture of impunity. You understand what I'm saying? Demonetization, the black economy suited those who are not used to paying taxes, who are doing everything in the informal economy. So I think please try and don't mix these things up. A country cannot run its economy on the basis of black money. Let's realize that fully. So demonetization was necessary. What has demonetization done? It has introduced some discipline. Have you ever heard of a parallel economy in anywhere in Europe? So either you want to be. We did not introduce the disruption. The disruption was introduced by the parallel economy. We have tried to sort it out. Similarly with GST, you cannot have one country and 23 rates of taxation. So we've done that. It's past us. Now we are trying to get growth back, and the growth is coming back. Let me give you an example. People talk about the automobile industry. Automobile industry is down by 1.6%. Said who? Latest figure saying the automobile industry, the production last month was 4% higher. But look at the metro ridership. When I became a minister, the metro ridership was 2.4 million. Now it's 6.5 million. So you look at those positive aspects, yeah.
And so now many experts are of the opinion that there is a demand and consumption problem. So I would like to ask you what steps the ministry is taking up to improve this, boost the spirit in the
First of all, it is not the mandate of the ministry to play with market forces. If there is a distortion or a disequilibrium introduced there because some unscrupulous, dishonest people have taken other people's money and produced too much supply in it, it's not the ministry's job. Ministry can provide an ecosystem in which demand-supply issues can be resolved. As I said, you please look at the inventories. Inventories are down. You look at affordable housing, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we've already sanctioned 93 lakh out of 112 lakhs. So we are doing our bit. Rest is up to other people. And don't give me that some people are criticizing. I mean, that criticism has no basis. What we have done in the urban sector, let me tell you, in 4 years, we have increased the urban spending. In the 10 years of the UPA, Congress-led UPA government, it was 150,000 crores. Today, it is 990,000 crores or thereabout. The increase has gone up 6 times. All this we are doing through programmatic interventions to revive the urban area. Urban areas today account for a bulk of your GDP, the bulk of your tax revenue, etc. So that is what we are doing.
And so now we are witnessing a trend when people are preferring renting rather than buying a house.
Many people want to own homes. Many people can't afford to own homes. There's a large inventory of constructed property which is lying unutilized. Why is it lying unutilized? Because owners of the property, the landlord, are scared to rent it out. Why? When you rent it out, you won't get it back. So we are trying to bring in an ecosystem where those who don't want to buy property or can't afford to buy property are able to utilize rented property. So there are measures in the pipeline where we will be able to unlock the rented properties, the properties which are there, so that they can be given out on rent.
And so keep in mind the unsold inventories, do you think that time is ripe for institutional renting in India?
So it is, that's what I told you. We are in fact, we have taken measures in that direction.
And so what is your stand on regularizing unauthorized colonies?
Well, I've just told you that I'm on public and I have to conclude this interview on this question. We have already taken a decision that we will confer ownership rights to people who have been living in unauthorized colonies. This is absolutely necessary because these people are living in conditions which are very, very disheartening. They cannot apply to banks for loans to do up their properties. They cannot get any work done. They go to any civic authority, the civic authority takes place and says, this is unauthorized. Now, these are people who bought the properties on power of attorney or some will or something like that. So, in one stroke, we have decided that we are going to confer ownership rights on these people. This will benefit something in the excess of 40 lakh people. So all I can tell you is that, in fact, I have to leave for the meeting now where this is coming up before the cabinet. And I can tell you, we have already made that decision. And as soon as we get this cleared through the cabinet, we are going to bring a bill before Parliament.
Thanks, Mr. Puri. Thanks for joining us.